Hello health defenders, Dr. Borja Bandera here, your Spanish physician and endocrinologist. Today we analyze the most important weight loss myth. Eating carbohydrates at night is fattening. How many times have you heard it? No bread, pasta, rice, potatoes or fruit at night because we will store them and get fat. This is one of the most widespread myths in the fitness and health world. However, eating carbohydrates at dinner will have no greater effect on your fat stores than eating them at breakfast or lunch, especially if you are an active person with good insulin sensitivity. That is, you respond well to insulin effects. In fact, there are studies like this one that demonstrate greater weight loss and fat loss and better appetite control when carbohydrates were eaten predominantly at dinner versus distributed throughout the day. There are two other situations where eating carbohydrates at the last meal of the day can help. If you have training in the evening and the next meal after training is dinner, it's important to add a quality carbohydrate source here. Your insulin sensitivity will be maximized and those carbs will go straight into the muscle, not stored as fat by any means. This is the training schedule of many of you who work or study in the morning and train in the afternoon. On the other hand, if you have trouble falling asleep, taking carbohydrates at night can help by increased synthesis of tryptophan and serotonin. Studies have shown a shorter time falling asleep and better sleep quality if you take carbohydrates at night. Has this happened to you? Leave it in the comment sections. There are several important points to make here. Eating refined carbohydrates and simple sugars will be just as fattening as if you eat them in the morning or midday. And new studies on chronobiology tell us that if you want to lose weight, it's interesting to group calories in the morning instead of eating a lot in the evening, since insulin sensitivity is higher during the day. We are not talking about eating large amounts of food at night. This is negative and increases the risk of many different diseases. We are saying that eating a reasonable amount of good carbohydrates at night will not be more fattening than eating them in the morning. You have to eat many times during the day. This myth is still heard all too often. The theory is that eating little but frequent meals will stimulate your metabolism and make you lose or burn more calories. This is the basis of the recommendation to eat 5 times a day. But is this true? The reality is no. Eating frequently does not raise your metabolism or make you burn more calories. Moreover, in most of you, an increased meal frequency will be associated with a higher energy intake at the end of the day, an effect modulated by the quality of what you eat. Let me explain. If you eat frequently, but those intermediate intakes are apples, carrots, a protein shake, or a handful of nuts, you are likely to maintain high levels of satiety throughout the day and even may lose weight. However, if those in-between meals involve chocolate bars, cookies, sugary dairy, or pastries, then you are likely to eat more calories, of course, than you would if you have eaten 2 or 3 meals a day. So, except for very specific disorders or a tendency to binge eat when we do not eat very frequently, eating many times a day is a recommendation without scientific support. In case you cannot tolerate less than 5 or 6 meals a day, you have to choose very well what you are going to eat in those small meals. Try to eat fruit, vegetables, or protein foods. If I get fat, it's because I have a slow metabolism. I often hear that my metabolism has changed, or I have a slow metabolism and that's why I get fat. Is this true? No, it's not, but to better understand it, we have to remember the components of energy expenditure. Basal metabolic rate, or BMR, what we expend due to thermogenesis from food, what we expend with physical activity, and what we expend with physical exercise. When we talk about a slow metabolism, we are referring to BMR, or basal metabolism, which is the energy used by your body to maintain vital functions, to keep you alive basically. That BMR, pay attention, is higher in people with obesity than in lean people, since there is a lot more living tissue to maintain. Fat, though it may not expend much, but it does expend some energy. Even in people who have lost weight and effectively maintain the loss, the BMR is not substantially changed. So, is it my slow metabolism fault that I can't lose weight? No, in most people, BMR is fairly stable throughout life, with a slow progressive decline as we age. For basal metabolism to decrease significantly, we have to go through a situation of extreme dieting or low energy availability, a situation that occurs in athletes. My thyroid is to blame for my weight gain. Can hypothyroidism make you put on weight? The thyroid gland is a butterfly-shaped gland located in the cervical region, and it's responsible for producing hormones called thyroid hormones. When the thyroid gland does not produce enough thyroid hormones, we say that we have hypothyroidism. If it produces an excessive amount, we say that we have hyperthyroidism. Culturally, hypothyroidism is associated with weight gain and hyperthyroidism with the opposite. But is this really so? Thyroid hormones fundamentally modify basal metabolic rate. When we have hypothyroidism, basal metabolism decreases slightly, and this, if left untreated for months and years, can lead to weight gain. But several notes here. This weight gain due to the thyroid is usually not more than 2 to 4 kilograms, and more importantly, it's not due exclusively to fat but rather to an accumulation of water and salt. Conclusion: hypothyroidism has a lesser influence on weight gain than we tend to believe, and even more so if we think that most hypothyroidism is diagnosed and treated quickly. This is not the case with hyperthyroidism, which does increase basal metabolism considerably and causes the person to lose weight, sometimes significantly. Intermittent fasting is the best way to lose fat. If you follow this channel, you will know that intermittent fasting is one of my favorite ways to reduce energy intake and facilitate weight loss. But being objective with the scientific evidence, we have to say that intermittent fasting is no better or worse than other weight loss diets. That is, for equal calories, intermittent fasting will make you lose the same amount of weight as any other diet. This does not mean that it has no advantages over other interventions. For many of you, intermittent fasting is a painless way to eat a little less and lose weight, or to keep the weight off without too much difficulty. Intermittent fasting can make you lose 4 to 8% of your initial weight on its own, but if you do it together with a comprehensive change of habits, you will lose much more. So much for today's video, folks. Don't forget to subscribe. See you soon. Stay strong and healthy.